Hi there, my name is Karen Engel, and if everything goes well with HR, hopefully I will be teaching my very first class at the university level with Moody Distance Learning. It will be a research writing class, and I'm very excited. It's why I went back to school. I have had the goal of teaching at the university level for many years, and so this is just a thrill for me. I have to say this faculty training was absolutely wonderful. It was much more than I expected as far as the assignments, the requirements, but it really helped to alleviate a lot of my concerns and a lot of my apprehension in teaching an online course. I know I mentioned this a number of times in my discussion board posts about how apprehensive I felt in learning this new platform, learning Coursites. I had become very familiar with Western's platform, which is Moodle, and felt very comfortable with that. But then approaching Coursites was a little daunting to me. It was a lot to learn, and I do remember in the first couple of days thinking to myself, what am I doing? I'm not equipped for this. But Russ and Andrew and Carol very quickly made me feel much more at home and at peace in approaching this new platform through their encouragement in the announcement videos and the online discussion posts that they engaged in, or that Carol engaged in. And within the first week, I was much more excited and had felt like this was going to be really good and help equip me. A couple of weeks ago, I graduated from Western Seminary, and we had our commencement ceremony, and one of the professors was down for the ceremony. His name is Gary Brashears, and he's one of my absolute favorite professors. But I've only met him face-to-face once or twice. Every other time that I've had interaction with him has been on an online course. Half of the courses that I took were online because Western is based in Oregon and I'm in Sacramento. And yet, even though it was all through online courses, he's one of my favorite professors, and I've always felt like he cares about me, he's concerned for my success and wants me to succeed, and will do whatever he can to help. And so I had a chance to chat with him, and I was sharing with him about this faculty training course that I was in and how important it was, how I was learning about online presence and how important it is to engage students from the beginning so that you can hook students who might be waffling as to whether or not they're going to continue, or if they are apprehensive even about the Coursites platform, and how important it is for me to close that gap of space and time to where students feel like I'm right there with them, not out in California when they're in Chicago or maybe in a different country. And he just kind of smiled at me, and it was good for me to be able to affirm him, and that I could see that that's what he had done in his classes with me. And now I was learning from the flip side of what it's like to be an instructor, and I can see how valuable that is and how important it is in keeping students connected and engaged, and then being successful in the online class and ultimately learning. So not only has this class taught me how important it is to engage with students from the very beginning, but my view of online learning has completely changed. My thoughts of the online class versus a face-to-face class are very different. I used to teach high school English, and so I'm very aware of the classroom, the face-to-face classroom, and how most of your students may not be engaging. Certainly some of them are not engaging at all. Some are learning passively, and there are some who are engaged and who are raising their hands to participate. But in the online classroom, as an instructor, I really have an opportunity to engage all students and to bring all students to a deeper level of thinking, to think more critically, because I have that one-on-one interaction with them on a weekly level. If I'm doing what I should be doing, participating in the online posts with every student and responding to emails and reaching out to students who aren't active. But to really engage these students asking strategic questions during the discussion posts to bring all students to a deeper level of thinking. And I just don't think that you can get that in a classroom with that many students. You might be successful with some, but not all. Online learning, or the online classroom, really embraces the more shy students, those kids who would be choosing to sit in the back of the class and hoping that you don't call on them. It gives them an opportunity to think about their questions, think about their responses to people, where they're not being put on the spot and getting to that place of being anxious. And so I think it creates an environment for those students, but then also for students who are very comfortable to feel safe and to participate. And that really, a lot of that is dependent on me and the environment that I create and the culture that I create through my responses. I've learned how important it is to report inactivity to Moody very quickly, not to wait till the second week, but if there's students who are not engaging in the first week, to go to that inactivity report so that the Moody staff can also come alongside those students and try to engage them so that they can continue with the class. I've learned it's important for me to set guidelines for discussion threads and to reroute students who maybe are trying to communicate too much of a personal agenda, but to keep on topic. One of the best things that I am coming away with is that weekly checklist. And I think that that's going to really help me not only to keep on track with every student and to make sure that I am responding to discussion posts in a timely manner, grade in a timely manner, create my videos, but also it's going to keep me from having my workload overflow into the weekends. And so I think it's just a win-win on both ends. I wanted to thank whoever came up with that STAR acronym. That's another takeaway as far as grading, to have that in my back pocket to constantly remind myself to be specific, actionable, timely, and respectable in my responses to my students. And I'll probably use that STAR acronym until the day I retire. Coming away with confidence in creating these videos, this one I'm doing right now, and the one we had to do at the beginning of the class, is been wonderful and has alleviated my concerns there. And most importantly, I'm coming away with the realization of how much of an opportunity I have, more than I thought, to help in the spiritual formation of my students. I think I thought that in the online classroom, especially teaching a class like research writing, that I wouldn't have as much opportunity, but just realizing that everything that I do and my communication with students in the discussion board postings and emails and phone calls, that all of that is to kind of funnel them towards a deeper relationship with their God. And what an honor that is to have an environment where I can do that. And that excites me because that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's to help people get excited about the Word of God and about what God is doing in their lives. So I can't thank you enough, everybody who's involved with distance learning, who's created this course. It's wonderful. I feel much more equipped and ready to teach my first class at Moody. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.